One of them you won't fire call very for me.
Oh, he didn't do problem.
Oh, it's in his truck. He would have had one today.
All right. You ready to go? Scott, you're on the deck. Richard?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to get this going real fast. First out the gate, I got David Cook and Johnny Morris from Henderson Hog Hunters. They got 3 for the scales. Step on up there to see Mr. Morris. I want to thank a couple people for helping out today as we go through the weigh-in. Scott Morris, president of the local catch club, is on the scales helping us out. Just one bag at a time, youngin'. 743 on those 3 fish. 747. I'm sorry, 747.
Take your big fish out.
There is 2 fish. 2 big fish. They need the bag and a fish. There you go. We'll get this going. The adults ain't used to all this high technology. 330.
Good fish. Okay, go ahead and take it out. Show them the camera and give me a picture.
Next up will be out of Hendersonville Hog Hunters again. It'll be Michael Morris and Ethan Morris with 2. Step on that. 566, 5.66.
Take your big fish out. I'm looking at another bag right here.
Big fish going down for Ethan and Michael at 316.
Get that big fish. You see where that black tape is? Take it out. You see where that black tape is? That's strip. Get your right there. I mean, it was my list.
Next up is Dustin Henkel and Kenny Christensen with 2 fish out of Hendersonville Hog Hunters again. 386, 386. All right, from the Bass Busters of Tennessee, here comes Wesley Kent and Robert Miller with the first limit. $12.90. Give me a big fish out of there.
You guys can see where that black tape is, that strip is. Yeah, give me a photo right there, I guess.
Big fish, 347.
That's good fish. Y'all go over there with that black tape. Hold on, Jake. That's okay. I want to
Alcoa fishing will be Walker LaRue and Jackie Hatfield. They got 5. $11.56. $11.56 on those 5. Give me the big fish.
Yeah, I'll
Hold the water bag. Before they take off, give me their big fish.
He doesn't have one. You want it too? What's the other line, boy? Is that one? Right here. Got it, Richard. You don't need to put it in the bag. Just lay it in the bag. Yeah, put it in the bag. Get that out. Grab that. 247. You got the water bag? Yeah, I got it.
Next up from Alcoa Fishing will be Landon Myers and Bryson Bailey. They've got 5. Ooh. With a broken prop, they got $15.80 for the lead. Big fish down at $4.75.
You want to get your picture right there? See where that black tape is crossed? You guys got to give me a picture. His partner up there, give me a picture. His partner's not here. Partner, oh, that's right. Huh? That tape is open.
By the way, I want to thank their fellow TBN anglers. They picked this young man up with his fish to let him weigh in on time. He's got a broke down boat down by the nuclear plant. With 1, 258.
Jake, y'all feel a picture? No.
Next up from Franklin Fishing League, and I'm not going to pronounce his last name, but I know his first name. It's Katsumi. He's got 2.
Spotted bass. Yeah. Step right up around the station. Come on outside of it. Sit right there.
$4.59.
You want a picture? Okay. I'll hold the water for time. Yeah, take your fish out and go right here. There you go. 17. How many you got? Good spot. Get that spot. There's 17 with 50. Yeah, that's what I heard. You're welcome.
All right, next up from Appalachian Highland Anglers, it's Andrew Hoffman and Jerry Gibson. They've got 3 on the day.
Got a big fish in here.
6.15.
Okay, if you want a photo, it's right there with that black picture. Yeah, we need photos.
From the South Central Tennessee Bassmasters, here comes Logan Gibson and Justin Howard. They've got 3 on the day. 6.80. Next up is Charlie Scott from Hendersonville Hog Hunters. He's got 2. $5.15.
Unless y'all need me to. Yeah, we need to get you right there.
How many you got? 3?
Hold on, just. That's a good fish, that one. Yeah, you want to weigh it? Is it a champ? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Hey, let's get this. Let's see if we get a big fish. Yeah.
475.
337. Next up is from South Central Tennessee Bass Masters is Eli Stevens and his dad Jeff. They've got 3 on the day. $9.15. Give me a big fish.
Okay. Y'all want a photo?
You don't have
a big one in there? No. Okay. Eli, give me a photo right there where that black tape is.
Next up from the Tennessee at large, Kingston High School, one of the qualifying teams out of high school circuit is Hayden Bennett and Camden Cranfield. They've got 2 on the day. That's a good 2 at $8.18. Give me their big fish.
That's a good one. Gotta hurry up. Gotta hurry up. Do me a favor, reset that.
Take it off?
Yep. Set it back on. You didn't make it.
561.
Get your photo.
Next up from South Central Tennessee Bass Masters is Tyler Mason and Corbin Bornstein. They got 3 on the day for $561.
No.
Y'all want a picture?
Nah. Thank you.
Next up is Shannon Jones and Brad Puckett from Chaos Outdoor Trail. They've got 1 on the day. $2.56.
Better nothing. Better nothing. Tomorrow you'll have to have 20. Let me get a picture. Or 256. Yeah. Y'all want a picture? Y'all want a picture? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's right there where that black tape is. Okay.
Next up with 2 fish from Luke 511, Dan McGanigo and Mel Biggs. $581. Next up with 1 fish from Franklin Fishing Lake, Danny Sutton and his better half Carmen. 201.
Jay, you want to take him home? Put it in the aquarium. Huh? Taking the fish back to the water. Straight back to the water.
They're taking it back to the live release boat. better be.
Need to remind them.
Go ahead, Bob. 38. Thank you.
From Luke 511, Chuck Hennessy and Bob Payne, they've got one on the day. $198.
Better than we thought. Hey, it's better than that water.
Next up, out of Montgomery County, it's going to be Colin French and Caden Casey. They've got 4 on the day. 1034.
Sure? Yes. All right, let's get right here. Let's get you a picture right there. Hold on, we gotta get a picture. Look at that spot, man. Get over that way. Over that black thing. Good spot.
From TriStar, I got Mel Briggs and Josh Nicholson with 2. One of them had to be caught a second time by hand. 413.
You want us to take one? We'll take it.
Yeah. Stand over here between these two pieces of black.
Here, I'll hold one up.
Next up with 3 fish from Chattanooga Bass will be George Hedden and Brad Sampson. Looks just like George to me.
I'll take that.
636.
They're both pretty. They're up. Yeah, you just go take the release boat.
Welcome to Tennessee Bass Nation. This is Jake Davis, your Tennessee Bass Nation president, and we're going to fixing to go live with some action at the stage this afternoon, brought to you by our sponsors, Four Corners Marina in Smyrna and Laverne. Swing in and see the gang there, and make sure you stop by the scoreboard while you're visiting Four Corners Marina. Schaefer's Specialty Lubricants. They're good people, great products, and they're American-made, folks. And I tell you, we changed all the lubricants out on the library's trailer to Schaefer's, and I've done my own truck, and they're great stuff. Tim's Ford Marina in Winchester, Tennessee, on Tim's Ford Lake. Don't get any better place than to take the family down there, go stay in their cabins, or they got campsites right there at the marina, along with a fine restaurant. Tennessee Brew Works. Finely tuned brew. They've come on board with Tennessee Bass Nation for the Conservation and Clean Waters Initiative this year. Cedar Creek Marina on Old Hickory. They've got floating cabins for you along with the marina. And again, don't forget about stopping in and seeing our folks at the scoreboard and taking Mama to dinner. The scoreboard at Percy Priest, Old Hickory, and Opryland. Make sure when you stop in there, you ask them for some Tennessee Bass Nation Brew. They'll be handling it all fall long and all throughout the winter and into the spring from here on out. Big Tie Fishing, Sonar Electronics. Give Chris Taylor a call up there in the Knoxville area. He can re-rig your boat, get all your electronics working great for you. And, he just does a fantastic job. All in tackle. When you got it on the line, you need to go all in. Make sure that you got plenty of that forward-facing sonar sauce that they have. Denali rods. Fine rods that represent the trail for Tennessee Bass Nation throughout all divisions, whether it's the college, high school, or the adult leagues. Denali rods has been with us since the beginning. Outdoor Adventure Group Productions. The reason why this broadcast is being brought to you today, you can scan that QR code right there, and it'll take you straight to the YouTube channel. Canyon Star TV. We want to welcome them on board. They're doing live broadcasts for us. It's being streamed on Google, Roku, Apple TV, all the locations listed right there. Our fine folks at Fish Dayton. Today's tournament is brought to you by Fish Dayton, our host, right here on Chickamauga Lake. And once again, you can view everything on Tennessee Bass Nation at our Facebook page, where it's being live streamed by Outdoor Adventure Group Productions.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun with great brands at the best prices. More of this, and this. So you can get together for a little of that, and a lot more of that. And even some of that, and that's good. Have more fun with great brands at the best prices. Only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Since the early 1970s, the BASS conservation agenda has remained focused on issues related to fisheries and aquatic research conservation. In the early years, it meant taking legal action against industries polluting our nation's waterways. Today, the agenda has grown more complex. The backbone of our effort is founded on a grassroots core of BASS members and those belonging to always on the lookout for issues that have local, regional, or even a national significance. Early on, BASS recognized that bass are a renewable resource and pioneered the catch and release ethic.
We recycle the bass we catch in these tournaments. We have our sport, but we don't hurt the fishing of the future.
In the late 1960s, Ray Scott revolutionized bass fishing. He founded the Bass world's largest fishing organization. Before his efforts, bass fishing was a niche southern pastime, often overshadowed by trout. Scott elevated its popularity and preservation. Today, his legacy lives on, a testament to his conservation efforts.
The story of catch and release actually was a trout fisherman's. Ray was just watching. He was kind of sitting up on the bank watching there, and these flagger boys, as he called them, were spread out down through there and working their line, and all of a sudden the guy set the hook and they hollered, "Fish on!" Easily led the fish in and pulled it up, and he said it wasn't more than a foot long, and everybody went crazy when he released that fish. They were high-fiving and clapping and screaming and everything, and he thought, well, what would the old bass boys do if they were releasing 5-pound bass? After I saw those people with a peddling foot-long trout get that excited. Ray Scott, like that, had his vision and a dream, and this was what became known as Don't Kill Your Catch.
Folks, I'm Ray Scott. The pages of every issue of Bassmaster magazine is fostering and encouraging our members to become more and more aware in the conservation effort. Our tournament and our society has sponsored the Don't Kill Your Catch program, and these fish that you see in the large tank here are bass that were caught during the tournament, are released alive and safe back into the waters that they swam in. Bass has come a long way in 5 years. I guess we've got a long way to go, but we'll get there because we're committed.
We were going to do catch and release. He said it's going to be a challenge. Most boats then did not have aerated live wells.
To everyone at the time, I would think that's the impossible dream right there, because all these guys who are fishing now grew up in an atmosphere where that was what it was all about. You justified your passion for fishing by being able to bring some food home.
At the start of the 1972 Bassmaster Tournament Series, rules were added to anglers to practice something called "Don't Kill Your Catch."
That was a hallmark right there. But what happened, it rippled out to the average bass fisherman, the bass clubs, and the other tournaments. And bass are recycled now.
A man, if he's a good angler, can catch a great many bass. But if he's really civilized, he's going to be that rare thing, an unpreying predator. He's going to release the bulk of his catch. Makes his angling a game of skill that preserves rather than destroys or diminishes the source of his pleasure.
Tournament anglers would receive bonus ounces for weighing in live fish. It didn't take long for "Don't Kill Your Catch" to expand even further.
The standard soon became you released the fish, and then Dewey went to a 5 bass limit, and that's still the standard today.
Because sometimes those live wells, they were pretty good size, but 5 fish fit better in those live wells than 7 did.
All right, we're back for the final run. We got everybody gathered up. Everybody had to walk in a little bit and they're tired, so we're going to give them a little extra time. From Decatur County Bass is going to be Marty Pratt and Xander Aker. They've got one on the day. Step up there, gentlemen. .262. Next up from Chattanooga Bass, Roy Massengill and Jess Byhofer. They've got 4. .816. Next up from Peacekeepers out of Chattanooga, John Kiley. He's got 3. .891. Check that big. 367.
Yeah, go right over there. I'll hold one up for you. Thanks, man. Look at it. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate you. What we're going to do today. Oh, you go to the release boat. 29.
All right, out of Chaos Outdoors is Glenn Jackson and Mike Jackson. They've got 1. 191.
There you go, sir. Where's Chaos Outdoors? Yeah. Yes, we got anybody else? Yeah.
All right. We got one last individual to weigh in.
28? How many you got?
From Bass Busters of Tennessee, it's Boone Bryant and Chris Jones. They've got 2. 565.
Use your water right there.
As he's getting his fish out the way, that will double check everything, but that looks like it'll be the last boat to weigh in for the day. I want to thank everybody. We'll be right back here again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Weigh-in should start about 3:05 for the final. I will post results for day 1 on the Facebook page so everybody can see it and see where they're at. But right now, for the folks at home, see if I can do a fast sort here. Where did they go? It's not what I thought would be leading this. Oh, yeah, there you are. Landon Myers and Bryson Bailey from Alcoa Fishing Club are leading this at 1580. And the big fish is a 561. Kingston, Barnett, and Cranfield. So, second looks like it's at 1290. The Bass Busters, Wesley Kent, and Robert Miller. I will post the rest of the results shortly. Thank you.
Because our number one goal at Bass is to always put the fish back in the water, make them survive. You've got a green zone, and in that green zone is the area the fish can survive in. You've got a red zone over on the left on the meter, and once it gets to that red zone, really anything below about 4.5 parts per million to 5 parts per million oxygen content the fish will not survive in. So as soon as I saw it light up in the red zone, I knew we had to do something, so called Tallahassee, Florida, talked to the Game and Fish, got a permit to haul the fish from the weigh-in site over to the main body of the lake and release them every day in the rim canal where the oxygen content is excellent. And that's one thing that I hope that most of the tournament organizations throughout the country will do, is check the oxygen content in the water where they're releasing their fish, because if there's no oxygen, those fish are not going to survive.
Today, anglers measure and check fish at the bump tank for keeper status. BASS officials inspect the catch. Then the fish are placed in ventilated bags and aerated tanks until taking the stage. At the stage, the weighmaster weighs the fish and the MC interviews the angler. Immediately after weighing, fish go to large aerated tanks on a release boat nearby. The release boat team returns them to the lake later.
When I meet someone that isn't familiar with tournament fishing and they think, oh, do you guys, what happens to those fish? What do you do with them? If I get a chance to talk to them, it changes their perspective about tournament fishing. You know, tournament fishing is actually the reason we have a lot of the good conservation habits that we have.
These anglers take incredible care of them. Some live wells have cooling devices, so the fish in a lot of situations actually goes back in the water in better health than it left the water. From the angler's boat, they go into mesh bags. Those mesh bags are then carried up to our tournament troughs that are fully oxygenated, and not just oxygenated, but patrolled by biologists.
The oxygen comes to the surface, but most of that oxygen is actually dissolving into the water. And we kind of let them recuperate a little bit before this boat goes out then and releases these fish. Now the other thing that's real critical in our system is that boat is almost full. We have the computers on stage are linked to the scales, so we know how many pounds of fish have come off the scales and into that boat.
It is imperative, if you're a tournament angler, no matter what division you're in, no matter what side of the bridge you're fishing off of, to try to keep them alive. I think what bass does is a testament to that.
It is a philosophy that is still going strong today. It takes temperature into effect. It takes oxygen into effect. And then we move them through the stages where they're getting fresh oxygen and good cool water all the time.
We keep our live release boats right at the same temperature that we keep these tanks, so that when the fish go from the tanks to the release boat, there's not a big temperature shock. When those fish are in the bags, they're using oxygen all the time. And that's real evident on our boat, on the release boat. Of course, we're using bottled oxygen on the release boats. So we don't have a problem with sufficient oxygen there. This water warms up pretty quickly, so we constantly have to monitor that temperature, maintain that temperature with ice, and keep the air going continuously. It's really very effective in terms of keeping those fish healthy. As a rule of thumb, we try to maintain no more than 1 pound of fish per gallon of water. So our boats typically hold about 600 pounds of fish. And when that boat gets full, we're ready to start loading this one. That boat will go out, release those fish, refill the tanks. While this one's being loaded with fish, that one's being refilled with water. As soon as it comes back in, we'll add more ice, turn the oxygen back on, and we may do that 8 times. We always take at least 2 boats to every tournament. As soon as that one's done, we're ready to go. Brian, we're ready over here, so we need to make the switch.
When you join BASS, you get more than just a magazine and a membership card. You become part of a society and are supporting more than 50 years of natural resource conservation. We encourage you to get involved. To learn how, scan this QR code to find and contact your state's BASS Conservation Director today.